was hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new, and a happy new year. I'm going to start with that because it's the first video I've made since being in 2020. So yeah, I'm halfway through the first month, or a bit more than halfway. So apologies I haven't released any more videos since Christmas. I've been off for quite a while now. Just needed a bit of a break, a bit of mental space, lots going on, Christmas, birthdays, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, welcome back, and welcome back to something very special. I thought I'd kick off the year with another car review, but this time probably one of the best, well, if not the best car review I've done to date, I think. And that's because I got my hands on a BMW M2, and for starters, it's pretty epic. I've loved these cars from the start. I love the extremely wide sort of body kit these cars have, the wide arches, the really aggressive stance. I think they just look epic to look at. And as well, you may remember quite recently, a couple of months ago, I did drive an M240i. Now I did get slated in the comments for that because I didn't know too much about the engine, etc. So apologies, I don't always know everything about every single car and engine codes and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, in that video, I compared the M240i really vaguely to the M2, mainly because the M2 is the top of the class of the 2 Series, so it's basically BMW's most compact M car that they make. And yeah, I made quite a few comparisons, and the fact that obviously you can pick up an M240i for about 10 grand less than these cars retail for. And it sort of got me thinking, you know, how good is the M2 to be able to warrant that sort of extra cost? So yeah, obviously I was hoping to get my hands on one, and I have now, so this is really good. So this is going to be quite an interesting video, hopefully. But anyway, enough background stuff, let's get on with the review. So what is it? So like I said, it's top of the range of the 2 Series. It's the proper M car, so it's an M2, 365 horsepower, 340 foot-pounds of torque, driven through the rear wheels, through a DCT gearbox. Sorry, that power is produced from a 3-litre turbocharged engine, straight 6. So as you can imagine, it's very punchy. It's phenomenal to drive. I've currently got it in comfort mode, but I did have it in sports mode for a bit earlier, just a bit of sort of mess around. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's got so much road presence. I spoke about earlier, obviously, the really wide angles and the arches that these cars have. I think they just look awesome. This one has got the optional carbon spoiler at the back, which again looks really nice. And I think I'm going to talk about a bit about this car in terms of what I believe this is what the M3 should have been. And I'll explain a bit throughout the video, and you'll see why and the sort of things I mean. It's a bit like an old school classic M car, basically. A lot of power, rear wheel drive, very sort of basic in terms of configuration. The only things you can choose are between the normal modes, so the Sport, Comfort, Sport Plus modes, and that is it. There's nothing else. You can't change anything else, and that's the beauty of it. Is obviously, you know, BMW, and obviously being a big German mega house in terms of brands and manufacturing, they've got a lot of experience, you know, a lot of heritage in motorsport. You expect them to set this car up to be perfection, and they have. This is exactly what they've done. So therefore, for someone to be able to configure it slightly differently, I think is a bit of like, it's almost sacrilege. So I think, yeah, these cars in sort of basic form are absolutely brilliant. Power to weight ratio is really good. Handling is phenomenal. If I put it in sports mode now, Like, it just changes everything. The exhaust opens up slightly the valves, and you can obviously change the gears manually rather than get the car to do it yourself. And it holds on to the gears basically until you change them. So you can drop down a gear and listen to that car. Currently stuck behind a car at the moment, which is frustrating, but hopefully it should hit some open roads in a second. But anyway, while we're stuck behind the car, let's talk about a bit of the interior. Like, this is like the boring part for me, a review, but I just thought I'd touch on it a bit. It's got like fake carbon inserts around the doors and the dash and some bobs. The seats are really comfortable, sit really low. Usual sort of BMW sort of configurability in terms of, you know, you can make sure you sit really low and get good center of gravity and all that sort of stuff. These are sort of full leather seats. It's actually, compared to its rivals, so when I talk about rivals, I'm talking about the Porsche 718 Cayman and the Audi TTS. There's a lot more room in the back than those cars, and I'll show you, as you can see on screen now. However, for, you know, two grown adults sitting in the back is probably a bit silly in terms of you pretty much got to have removable legs in order to fit in the back properly. So yeah, probably not the most comfortable sort of long distance GT Tourer type car. Anyway, a bit of open space, nice straight road. I'm going to be quiet and just listen to the car. Oh, that is fantastic. That is an awesome soundtrack. Now, I don't know how much of that is pumped through the speakers, as BMW like to do that in a lot of their cars. The M240i I drove did that as well. So some of it is artificial, but they still sound pretty fantastic from the outside. Gear shifts are instant, as you can expect from the DCT gearbox. Oh, that power, mental. And you do have to, what I like about these cars and what I like to the other sort of rivals in its class is that you actually have to drive this car, you know. It's a proper old school rear wheel drive sports car, and that's exactly what you want, you know. This is a proper driver's car. You know, you likes of the TTS, okay, you know, really good performance from the car. You get quattro all-wheel drive system, but obviously the quattro all-wheel drive system makes it a bit numb and a bit boring to drive, and that's what I do like about the BMW cars, I gotta say. And this is exactly what the M3 should have been. It handles incredibly well. Actually really like the steering wheel, actually seeing that holding on. Really chunky, really nice. These roads are pretty epic. If you don't know, I live sort of near Longleat, so as you can expect, there's some pretty epic sort of forestry type roads. You really get the car. Slightly wet and greasy, so I'm not going to push the car massively, and like I've spoken before in a lot of these videos, I don't really push the cars massively because they're not mine. I don't own the cars. The cars are supplied by local garages or just friends, etc. So yeah, I'm not going to drive a car like an idiot if I don't know the actual boundaries. And obviously, like I said, this is the first time I've physically driven this car, so yeah, trying to find the boundaries of them is, you know, I'm not a racing car driver or anything. I'm not trying to be either, but just like to share these experiences with you. But yeah, these are pretty epic. Oh, just listen to that. Oh, it's just fantastic, isn't it? Oh, downshift. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Oh, downshifts are pretty epic. Now that I've driven an M2 as such, I sort of get it. Okay, M240i is a good proposition in terms of, you know, if you wanted a slightly cheaper sports car but still have the wolf in sheep's clothing sort of looks, but you just don't get that body kit on it, you know. You don't get the looks. The engine obviously is a lot more punchy, a lot more powerful, and obviously if you want to go a bit more hardcore on top of that, you can then get the M2 Comp, which has got the M3 engine in it, which is mental, you know, over 400 horsepower. I mean, that thing is in a class of its own, I'm sure, in comparison to this. But nonetheless, this is a very, very good proposition in terms of sports cars. Now, these nowadays second-hand go for around the 30 grand mark. Still a lot of money, you know, when you think about it. There's, you know, a lot of performance cars you can get for a lot less, likes of TTS and all that sort of thing. But also, you can also get your hands on, you know, an M140i for pretty much not far off half that. You can also get your hands on an RS3 for sort of high, sort of 18 grand rough mark. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to choose from, but I don't think they're going to be any close in terms of drivability and just focus and fun, and just, this is like an old school, you know, petrol head's dream of a car. Basically, this is what you expect, you know, Sunday drive, open road. Okay, slightly drier roads in this context, because these are quite greasy now. I have to be careful around here. A lot of farmers and tractors and stuff, as you can expect. I actually prefer these to M3 in terms of looks as well. I think they're just a lot more exotic looking, and I do like the coupe version, although I probably wouldn't be able to drive one myself. Well, probably could actually, just a lie, because I've got 2 kids and all that sort of thing, which is obviously, the back doors is obviously quite handy. But same time, they are little, so they probably could fit in the back and all that sort of thing. But it's just, yeah, it's just something special about these. Something so special. You can see why so many people like them. You're welcome. Tight roads. What I will say, and actually, as I've just figured then, is I think on a lot of cars have it. Obviously, they have the fixed paddles, or some cars have the fixed paddles, which actually is a lot better and a lot ergonomic in terms of, for that instance then, when I pulled over and turned the wheel sort of clockwise, you then lose sort of focus in terms of which paddle's which. So I think having them mounted to the steering wheel is cool in a way, but also can be a bit troublesome sometimes, sort of confusion. So fixed paddles will do better, but on steering ones are fine. I mean, like I said, a lot of cars do the steering ones when you age Audi, Mercedes, they're all the same. So it's only the higher end sports cars and performance cars that have the fixed paddles. But these roads are phenomenal. Oh, I can't expect what this car is like on a dry summer's day, but it's absolutely epic. So the car actually shares a few parts with the M4, even as a standard M2. I believe the suspension, braking components and the steering components are all shared with the M4. So as you can imagine, yep, that was, it just sounds so good. Downshift, and it rev matches as well. I mean, that is phenomenal. Brakes good. Brakes are very good, if I was to do. So much fun. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, I'm going to finish off the video there because I'm just enjoying it too much, and I'm realising I'm not really talking too much. But I pretty much said what I need to say. These sort of reviews are more of like an experience for me, and trying to share that with you guys. If you want to pull full product reviews, there's millions out there, so I don't want to just produce a video that everyone else does, if you like. And that's my sort of goal for 2020, is produce content for me and to share with you guys experiences and just sort of the things that, you know, not everyone sees all the time. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and make sure you join back for plenty more content to come. Also, just forgot to say that massive thank you to Ron Rowe Cars again for lending me the car and being able to do and shoot this video. They've got quite a few other cars which I'm hoping to get my hands on as well. They've got an M3 at the moment, but it's just been cleaned, so it wouldn't be very fair for me to take it out on these sort of lovely greasy wintry roads. But anyway, there's plenty more content to come from those guys. Check them out. The car listing will be in the description below, so if you are interested in this particular car, be sure to go and check it out. they've got great finance, and they're just a really cool small family garage. Been running for many years, and a really nice bunch of guys. So yeah, bye.